Good afternoon. We will call the May 2025 Diversion Board Authority to order. And next up will be roll call of the members. Don.
Mayor Carlson, Mayor Dardis,
Here.
Mayor Mahoney,
Here.
Mr. Breitling,
Here.
Mr. Hendrickson, Mr. Pepcorn,
Here.
Mr. Ebinger,
Here.
Ms. Kolpak,
Here.
Mr. Campbell,
Here.
Mr. Capitan, Mr. Grimberg,
Here.
Mr. Logheed, and Ms. Morgan.
Here.
Quorum's present.
Thank you. Let the record show Senator Roars and Representative Steeman are with us today, as well as State Director for Senator Hoven, Jessica Lee. Welcome. Next up, item 2, approve minutes from the April 24th, 2025 meeting.
So move.
Second,
Second.
discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 3, approve order of the agenda.
So move.
For a second,
Second.
moved and seconded, discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, I'd look for a motion on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, take a roll call vote, Don?
Mayor Dardis,
Yes.
Mayor Mahoney,
Aye.
Mr. Breitling,
Yes.
Mr. Pepcorn,
Aye.
Mr. Ebinger,
Aye.
Ms. Kolpak,
Aye.
Mr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Grimberg,
Aye.
Mr. Logheed,
Yes.
and Ms. Morgan.
Yes.
That is everyone.
Thank you.
This is Chuck. This is Chuck. I too. So sorry about that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck. Under the regular agenda, item 5, Executive Director update, Jason Benson.
All right, good afternoon, board members. A couple updates. So first, I was hoping that with the end of the Minnesota legislative session, I'd have some news. Unfortunately, they ended the session on Monday without passing a budget or a bonding bill. So we, over the last couple weeks, I was spent a couple different days down in St. Paul, along with Commissioner Mojo from Clay County, talking to senators, representatives, and really pressing for the $60 million that we're requesting. We expect that sometime in the next several weeks they'll be back in session in a special session and to pass a budget. And the latest that we were hearing was most likely a $700 million bonding bill. How much we would get out of that is still unknown. Not likely that we're going to get the full 60. Do we get somewhere in that 15 to 20 million, 20 to 30 million? I think that's the big question. And we're hopeful that we're going to get some funding out of the special session and as the legislature passes the bonding bill and the budget. So with that, that's my report on Minnesota funding. And then the other item I wanted to make sure everybody heard about. Really exciting news. Over the last several weeks, we had nearly a dozen applicants that applied for the Director of Lands and Compliance position. The selected candidate, Justin Fisher, will be starting here in mid-June. He's a native of Jamestown. He's got extensive experience in land management, real estate acquisition, easements, especially easements on state and federal lands, with a lot of management time, both with the NRCS, the Natural Resource Conservation Service, the Corps of Engineers, and recently with the Department of Energy. So that experience, along with he's got a doctorate in environmental and conservation science, and several other very relevant educational experiences. So I think he'll bring a wealth of knowledge both on the land management, from understanding and managing a lot of wildlife and federal easements for the NRCS and the Corps of Engineers, as well as understanding permitting requirements, environmental compliance, and a lot of the things that we'll be dealing with from a lands and compliance standpoint as we're starting to finish the acquisition component of our lands program and starting to transition more to the compliance and management standpoint. So that's my update, and open to any questions that members may have.
Questions? Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Mr. Shockley? Bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the Diversion Authority Board. I only have one item for the board this afternoon on the regular public agenda, and that is to approve the Technical Dispute Review Board agreement and just provide an update. I believe we already approved that under the consent items, but I wanted to provide a brief update. The Technical Dispute Review Board, as you'll recall at the last meeting, we had the Diversion Authority appoint its member, Mr. Chris Kane. The developer appointed its member, Mr. Randall Hafner, and then the two wing members appointed a chair. His name is Joseph Ilargo. And so we're in the process of finalizing the formation of the Technical Dispute Review Board. Took several months to find candidates that were willing to participate in the dispute review process, given the industry standard is most dispute review boards view themselves as a mediation panel, where the confidentiality of the parties is more typical than what our process will be outlined as. So the agreement would be between those three members, the authority and the developer. That's the agreement that was approved. We're working through the finalizing that agreement. On another matter related to the Technical Dispute Review Board, because they are a board that hears disputes between two parties that have potential conflicts between, that's why the board is formed. It poses some challenges for me as general counsel to assist the board, the Technical Dispute Review Board, in maintaining compliance with open meetings requirements, because that requires me to provide them advice. And at the same time, I'm supposed to be advocating on behalf of the Diversion Authority. And so we work through a solution to that issue. We are proposing that Mr. Howard Swanson used to be the Grand Forks City Attorney. He'll be retained as an independent counsel to the Technical Dispute Review Board for the sole purpose of assisting them with open meetings compliance, so that if they have a question about can we go into executive session for this, they can have a conversation with him and it doesn't trigger any ex parte communications issues with myself or with our litigation counsel. So you'll probably see his agreement next month. We're just working through that with the developer and the TDRB board member. So just kind of wanted to bring that to your attention. It's an unusual circumstance that we find ourselves in, but I think we've worked through it as best as we can. So happy to answer any questions. And
Questions for John? Thank you. Item 7. Terry, are you with us?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chair Gutenberg and board members. This is the Corps' update for the month of May. For the diversion inlet structure, I'm happy to report that the gate machinery went through commissioning and everything went really well. Everything's working as intended, and we have gates that raise and lower properly. And for the Wild Rice River structure, now that the diversion inlet structure commissioning has occurred, they will turn their attention to installing the operating machinery corrections. We have final inspections and training upcoming at both the diversion inlet structure and the Wild Rice. For the Red River structure, a lot of concrete placements ongoing for the east and west dam walls, and pretty large placements for the approach apron. The gate machinery is on site and will be installed once the mechanical bridge is complete, which is very soon. Number 4, Reach SE2A, that contractor has been mobilizing equipment. We are still watching them very closely to make sure that they get some good progress this season and are pushing them to be done with their work by the end of August of this year. Going down to the rest of our contract awards, all of our embankment contractors are in various processes of mobilization, and most have done some work to get their earthwork operations up and going. For OHB, they've got some inspection trench activities going on. Reach SC 1B, the big news there was that County Road 1617 intersection had to be closed, and we expect it to be reopened in September. A lot of work has to go on at that intersection, including completing the dam embankment that crosses County Road 17 and ties into the diversion inlet structure. Reach SC2B preparing to do their embankment work for forest mitigation contracts. Again, we have one contractor that got both those jobs. That contractor has been planting. I'll jump down to SC3 and 5. This is the first construction season for both of those contractors, and both of them have been mobilizing. I have nothing else to report. We are in operation and maintenance still phase for I-29 and Drayton Dam. And with that, my report's over and open for any questions.
Questions for Terry? Thank you, Terry. Chris?
Thank you.
Thanks, Chair Grimberg. Board members, quick update on the channel construction. Again, a couple things to highlight. A few of these will be highlighted a little more extensively in the drone video. But channel excavation, they're working primarily in Reach 12, which is south of 94. A couple updates on bridges. The BNSF Hillsborough Bridge, the substructures are done. Expect to set girders here within the week. So that's a good milestone on the first setting of girders on our railroad bridges. I-29, you'll see they poured the northbound deck in the drone video. One quick update on 94, they also made great progress there and are going to be pouring one of the bridge decks here this weekend. So there's making good progress on bridges, a lot of ramp up there. Maple River Aqueduct, they're continuing to work on mostly the spillway. There's a couple of final cleanup items on the flume conduit, but mostly they're working on the spillway now. They're just starting construction on the Authority Administration building. They're starting excavation for foundations. That was delayed a little bit this week with the rainy weather, but we'll be picking that back up and working ahead on the administration building within the next few days. Terry covered the Red River structure real well, and that's also highlighted in the drone video. Kind of on the 30 to 60 day outlook, we're quickly running out of things on that outlook, which is great news. You'll see the last two items for startups are now projected to get started. Terry mentioned SE5, their contractors mobilizing, and then one of the last drain inlets is key to start up here within the next 30 to 60 days as well with the RVA. So we will have all of our work under construction. Starting, as you'll see on the top item, we're starting to get into the other end of the 30 to 60 day outlook. So intending to start doing the roadway reconnections at County Road 10 and County Road 20 as things dry out and get going. So hopefully we'll have some pretty steady news throughout the summer months here of roadways reopening to finish bridges. So with that, I can maybe click to the crossings one quick. Again, you'll see this steadily pick up, but good progress being made on the bridges. So you'll see a few things highlighted. They set girders on County Road 81, the BNSF Hillsborough we talked about, and I-94 westbound, the decking. So those things anticipate that throughout this summer we'll see steady progress on the bridge construction as well to hopefully get roads open on a fairly steady pace here. So with that, I can stand for any questions related to construction update.
Questions for Chris?
Another good safety month, only one minor first aid related recordable item, so it was a fairly minor thing, but did hit the recordable button, but nothing of significance. So if there's any questions on the safety, again, a good safety month this month for the project.
See no questions, thank you.
All right, so today I want to highlight in the P3 update, talk about the environmental compliance items that we're doing. Lots of work goes on here, but it's often somewhat behind the scenes, which I guess from a compliance standpoint is a good thing, but just want to highlight on this first page, they've started planting trees. So they planted about 3,500 out of about 35,000 trees. They planted those last fall. in reaches 1, 2, and 3, and then they've got those reaches primarily seeded. There's a few cleanup items that they're still working on seeding. Anticipate throughout this year as they get reaches of the project to that completion stage, we'll see an increase in planting of trees and final vegetation. Then on the second page, just to highlight a couple of things. One of the things we are doing, there's a couple of permits left. The Cheyenne River Sovereign Lands permit, that application we're anticipating being signed for the connection of the Cheyenne Aqueduct here within the next few weeks. And then on cultural monitoring, there were some sites they anticipated potentially finding some historical artifacts. So we've got some special cultural excavation that's being done throughout different areas of the project. They're should be wrapping up that excavation here in the next month or two, but so far no major finds, which has been good. And they have to take special care, use special equipment, take the material in smaller layers so that we make sure we don't damage anything if there is something that could be found. And then kind of maybe to wrap up, talk about mussel salvage, fish salvage, as we are connecting the rivers back through our structures. The Corps will have an effort of this as well this year as they connect the Red River structure through the river through the new structure. The existing channel is dewatered, so we're anticipating by this fall we may have the same activity on the Maple River Aqueduct, where they'll connect the river across the aqueduct and then across the old parts of the channel that are being removed. An effort would be made to salvage any live mussels and fish and get them replanted into the river. So that's an effort that our RVA is taking on for the P3 project. So they're working on getting contracts put in place so that activity is ready when they're ready to connect the rivers. So with that, I'd stand for any questions on the P3 update as well.
Questions? Let Mayor Mahoney know when he can bring his fishing rod out there.
For sure.
Paul?
Bring your waders. I think we're ready for the drone videos.
From concrete to girders to bridge decks, numerous crossings are under construction on the FM Area Diversion Project. I'm Tom Fuchs, Senior Construction Manager for the Metro Flood Diversion Authority, with those and other construction updates. In Reach 12, which is just south and west of the FM Metro, ASN Constructors continues to excavate the stormwater diversion channel both day and night. They've now moved more than 34.5 million cubic yards of the needed 45 million. They're busy on many of the 19 crossings over the channel as well. North and west of Harwood, North Dakota, crews are placing girders at the County Road 81 crossing. Nearby at the BNSF Hillsboro Rail Crossing, the bridge substructure work is complete and girders will soon be installed there as well. Also nearby, this month's drone view captures concrete placement for the new northbound I-29 bridge deck, which took close to 600 cubic yards of concrete to complete. Beyond the crossings for road and rail traffic, ASN has continued work at the Maple River Aqueduct, where the river will cross over the channel. With concrete work for the flume and conduit structure and its wing walls nearing completion, crews are shifting focus to backfilling the structure. They're also constructing maintenance road bridges spanning across each end of the flume. At the aqueduct spillway, crews continue installing sheet piles. Close to an acre of sheet piling will retain backfill soils that surround the spillway, channel flows through it, and cut off seepage below it. Just a little south from the Maple Aqueduct, work continues at the Raymond Township Section 27 Drain Inlet, where the concrete pipes are now backfilled. Concrete work also is underway at the headwalls on both the upstream and downstream ends. At the Red River structure, Ames Construction, a U.S. Army Corps of Engineers contractor, is hard at work. This month, crews placed concrete for the mechanical platform bridge deck and constructed concrete piers and floodwall segments for the structure's east floodwall. Upstream of the structure, work has shifted to the east half of the approach apron, where crews are now driving piling. West of the structure, preload embankments are being removed to make way for constructing the remainder of the west flood wall, where it will meet the full height embankment. Nearby, at the diversion inlet structure, the mechanical gear has arrived and is installed. Contractors are cycling the gate machinery, calibrating the equipment, and commissioning the gate operating systems to ensure everything is in working order when it's needed. If you're looking for more information on FM area diversion progress, go to fmdiversion.gov.
Item 8.
All right, thank you, Chair Grinberger and members of the board. I'm pitching in for Amy today to give us our monthly communications update. A little bit on our media relations. Again, we got media and press release on the April construction update. We also had some letters to the editor that went into both the Forum and the Star Tribune, and they kind of focused on the Minnesota funding ask that went in, and they were signed off by Mayor Carlson, Commissioner Campbell, and Christine Gordon. As far as legislative, the communications team did put together quite a bit of material that went with the team for their DC trip. And there was some correspondence that went out to committees working on the Minnesota bonding bill. As far as our newsletter, it featured Bruce Geske with ASN Contractors, and it really focused on apprenticeships. Our communications update, I wanted to highlight that the North Dakota Professional Communicators awarded the authority several awards for the work done in 2024. There was 12 first place awards, and these will advance to the national competition, 4 second place awards, and 2 third place awards. And then if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend that you check out the Good Life magazine and the personality profile done on Jason Benson. It's a great opportunity to get to know our executive director a little better. Thanks.
Questions? Should have Jason back up. Eric?
Good afternoon, board. In front of you, I have 2 items. I think first is land status report. You're familiar with this. Green is good. As you can see, we've got more and more green each month. The next page goes over some pie charts. No progress or no changes on the construction footprint. The only thing outstanding there is the second part of some eminent domain actions in Minnesota. On the upstream mitigation area, we did close on 5 parcels in the last month, so we're closing in on 60% complete there. The next page just drills into that in a little bit more detail. I'll maybe skip over that. Here we get to landowner overview, so depending on how you like to look at the numbers, whether it's by parcel count or by owner group, the percentages change just slightly, so that's what this page is showing. And then the next page goes into some key activities that we've been working on the last month. Continuing to work on negotiations where property owners are willing to negotiate, even if we have filed the eminent domain. Again, we did close on 5 parcels last month in the upstream mitigation area. We are working to complete the final appraisals for the project on Christine and some Horace mobility improvements. Quite a bit of energy spent on excess lands, working through the process there of disposing those. And we have been working late last year and early this year on platting the diversion channel. We've completed plats for 5 of the 7 townships, working to get those remaining 2 plats completed this year, and also started working on some of the administrative plats in Minnesota. With that, I'd stand for any questions on the status report.
Questions? Thank you, Eric.
The next item in here is a brief update on one of the excess lands. This has been kind of a hot topic for the lands group over the last few months, and so wanted to share this update. Peggy, maybe if you can just go to the map. I did not bring updated copies of the map, but I'm happy to report to you. We have reached out to all of the adjacent landowners along this section of the rail corridor in Horace. When the packet was published, we had not heard back from the 2 yellow squares on the bottom of the map, D9 and D10. We have since heard back positively from both of those landowners or adjacent landowners. They are interested in purchasing that. So really happy with the progress here. We are, I guess, with that, feeling confident we can move forward with disposing of this land to the adjacent landowners. You'll notice D14 is still highlighted yellow. That's a piece of this segment that we have offered to the city of Horace. I understand they met on it earlier this week. They didn't take any direct action. I have been in communication with them. If they do not elect to buy D14, the owner of the land across the tracks who is buying D2 will also be interested in buying D14. So we discussed that at the Land Committee yesterday, also at the Cass County Joint Board this morning. Feel like we have a pathway forward to dispose of this rail corridor to the adjacent landowners. So wanted to share that update with the group.
Questions? Hearing none. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
Item 10, Mayor Dardis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Finance Committee met yesterday. We went through a number of items. You'll see that 4C and 4D on today's agenda. All those items were processed through and motions passed on all of those. Approval of the bills in this reporting period was for $2,136,581. Your finance report on our net cash balance is $338,232,087. I will also note that there has been another draw from the Legacy Fund. We have drawn another $42 million, and there's $45 million left in the Legacy Fund resources that are available to us. With that, I stand for any questions.
Any questions for Mayor Dardis?
Mr. Chairman, I'd move for approval of the finance report. Oh, one other thing, excuse me. On item page 157 in the packet was the sales tax report. And the sales tax report that's in the packet is incorrect. It's been corrected. So the percentage of growth for the county thus far in 2025 is at 8.8%. And the net increases for the city collections is 9.4%. And I would remind you, in our cash budget, we have about a 1.5% growth factor. So thank you to Cass County. Thank you to the city of Fargo. We're doing well. That's all I have.
Is there a second to Mayor Dardis's motion?
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none. Take a roll call vote, Don.
Mayor Dardis.
Yes.
Mayor Mahoney.
Aye.
Mr. Breitling.
Yes.
Mr. Hendrickson.
Yes.
Mr. Pepcorn.
Aye.
Mr. Ebinger.
Aye.
Ms. Kolpak.
Aye.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Grimberg.
Aye.
Mr. Longheath.
Yes.
And Ms. Morgan.
Yes.
That is everyone.
One item before we go to exec session. Jason Benson and I joined the Fargo-Moorhead West Fargo Chamber this week in Washington for their annual fly-in. Approximately 30 of us, like traditional approach that chamber uses, very well done, very impactful. Mr. Benson and I had the opportunity with the group to meet Secretary Noem, who was introduced by Senator Kramer in one of our sessions. I was able to ask Secretary Noem her thoughts, as I think we've all read about FEMA and the reorganization, retooling, or the efforts going on in that organization and the federal government, asked the question or shared that the technical team with FEMA working on remapping our floodplain, and for her awareness of that's very vital to the project and alleviating home flood insurance when that's ultimately mapped. Jason then took the microphone and shared a little more detail, and then we were able to have staff discussion with Jason, her staff discussion with Jason to learn more. And then Senator Kramer's office followed up further, more detail, wanted to understand where we're at with the remapping part. So a lot of great meetings that took place, but that was a very impactful 10-minute session, I would call it. So. Okay, any other business? If not, I'd look for a motion on item 12 for a closed executive session pursuant to North Dakota Century Code.
Approve.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We do have to come back once we come out of executive session. Would entertain a motion to adjourn? Moved and seconded. Campbell Pepcorn. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Motion carries.